What is going on, guys? This is EK1 Gaming here, and in today's video I will be giving you my honest feedback on Cyberpunk 2077. Now before we get into that, this is your final chance to enter the PS5 giveaway. The winner will be drawn at the end of the 15th of December, and to enter all you have to do is become a Patreon of the channel by clicking the Patreon link in the description. Now as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe button and the little notification bell, and let me know in the comment section below your honest thoughts on Cyberpunk as it is today. So let's get into the video. Well, where do we start when it comes to Cyberpunk? I think it's only fair that we only review the experience we have had with the game, so we're going to ignore anything that's been put out for old gen consoles or any other consoles. I currently play on PC, and I have an RTX 2060 and a Ryzen 5 3600X. Now, if you want to see my full setup, just click the top right corner now, and that will take you to a video showing you everything I've got in my PC, so it will give you an idea of what I'm using to play this game. Now, it's not a top-end PC, it's not a 3090 with all the mod cons, but however, I've never struggled to play a game before with this PC. So to start with, let's talk about performance and frames per second, because you know, at launch there were some unexpected issues that came about, and honestly my PC didn't like this game at all. In fact, the game was using 99% of my GPU, which yes, is a good thing because you want your GPU to be using it. However, for someone like me who streams and plays on the same PC, it wasn't great, but that is circumstantial, of course. Not everyone is going to be streaming and playing the game on the same PC. So along with the other crashes I had, because my PC couldn't cope, I did encounter a lot of in-game crashes recently after the latest patch, which was kind of yesterday. So this happens sort of anytime I click off the game for a second. So for example, if I receive a DM on Discord or I want to reply to a comment in chat, if I click off the screen onto one of my other monitors, it crashes Cyberpunk, and it literally has a bug. You know, it comes up with a bug. I can't remember the name of it. However, it just crashes, and then I have to start the whole game again. If it's not saved, I lose my save point at that point as well. So let's talk frames per second, and as much as we all love to have those high frames per second, of course it's not all about FPS. Now, the performance of the game recently has been fine for me since the patch. It looks pretty good on medium settings, because I have to have it on medium settings because any more kind of just really drops the frames down to an unplayable state. The frames that I'm getting are between 50 and 70 during normal gameplay. Cutscenes, they go up to like 200 and something, but that doesn't really matter. However, in busy areas, it does drop to around 40. So as much as this annoys me because there are these kind of frames I should hit with I should be hitting these with a PS Pro, and I'm getting them on a PC, I can still kind of forgive it. It's not a competitive game where frames per second equals kill or be killed, you know. It's not that kind of fast-paced frames per second game. It's not that first-person shooter competitive where you want the highest frames and you want the highest performance. It's a simple role-play game with pretty good visual art. So we can kind of forgive the FPS, and I was first one to jump on the FPS bandwagon like, this is not good, you know, this is terrible. However, I'm kind of coming around to the fact that I don't need to get 165 frames out of this game. It's not really going to make any difference at all. So going into the game style, and this is something I kind of dislike. Now, and I say kind of dislike because I do love RPGs, so role-playing games. I love first person. I even love a good storyline. In this case, I feel the role-play side of it really overpowers the game and makes it underwhelming, and that's my personal opinion, of course. So in the first 5 hours of gameplay, for example, I only completed like 2 or 3 missions because of how many cutscenes and how many scenes where I've got to just answer questions and talk to people there was. Now, this may not be bad for some people, but I like to get stuck into a game. If I'm spending $60 or £60 on a game, I want to play it. I felt this game literally only required an F and a scroll wheel. So 2 buttons to play the game, because they're pretty much the only buttons I used for 5 hours was scrolling down, talking to different people, and pressing F to select which thing to say. So, and I get after this, you know, the game opens up more, so, you know, you can free roam afterwards and do as you please. But for the initial story in 5 hours, or, you know, even a little bit more than 5 hours, I honestly turned it off and felt underwhelmed. As a gamer, of course, I'm going to give this more than 5 hours because I know it has to get better from here and I know the potential that it has. It did, however, have me on the brink of uninstalling out of boredom. Now, this is not something that's, that I would do lightly. I wouldn't just generally uninstall a game I've just bought. However, last night after streaming it for like 3 or 4 hours, even the chat was saying, this is boring, like the game is boring. Not so much the stream, but just generally the game, there is nothing happening. And I get that at the beginning, of course, we're being taught everything in the game, and there is a lot going on in the game. So they do have to have this, but I think that a lot of the talking is very slow to react. So when you respond, it's like 10 seconds until they respond back, and then they're kind of just waiting around and you can't talk to people instantly. I know you can use the skip function, but I skipped some of it, and then apparently I skipped the most important part of the whole story. So technically, I missed out on the best part of the story. I did, however, go back and watch someone's stream of the whole lot at the beginning, kind of skip through until that point so I could read what was happening in that storyline. However, it did make me do that because I was purely bored of just sitting there or standing there with these cutscenes. Now, the cutscenes, as I say, look good. Don't get me wrong, they are good, but it's just overpowering and too much. So the in-game mechanics, let's talk about that. They're pretty user-friendly in my opinion. I'm not the best with keyboard and mouse, but I've been kind of coping with that. The gunfights are good. Loot's very active. There's a lot of stuff to pick up, a lot of things around on the ground, and you can pretty much customize anything you like to your playstyle. So in my opinion, I think, the gameplay itself is a pretty high standard of a game. It's very complex, it's very in-depth. And I see people, already bringing out different kind of builds, weapons and stuff like that. A lot of YouTube content going out there on this game, which we will start covering on the channel. I don't know. I didn't play it at the beginning because of all the stuff that was happening. But now, the more I played it yesterday, they kind of got bored. But then today, I'm feeling like I want to play it again. So just to see and just to get past all that boredom and get into the actual nitty-gritty of the game. So honestly, there's going to be overpowered weapons. And there is an overpowered weapon. We won't go into saying what it is. Everyone knows what the weapon is. It's very overpowered, and pretty much, people are saying they could just run around and kill people easily, or kill the NPCs easily. So along with that, there is also the level gap or level advantage. When you get to like level 30 odd, you pretty much run around and you can pretty much one-tap most things. But it doesn't become challenging then. Now, I can only hope that after this, there's going to be some kind of online or some kind of game mode where we can XP up, level up, and then take our characters wherever to do certain things. Now, because it's an open world map, hopefully it's similar to GTA, even though obviously it's better than GTA in terms of graphics and visuals, but a similar kind of gameplay where people could be on your map. I don't know how that's going to pan out. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens in the future of this game. So overall, I'm going to give this game a 7 out of 10. Now, again, just to recap, it's only a 7 out of 10 because, of course, performance issues at the beginning, which for me, that can almost put me off a game if it doesn't perform properly. Like Anthem. I didn't reload Anthem up after the first day because I couldn't get onto the game because their servers were terrible and it wouldn't let anyone on. So I uninstalled the game, didn't never play it again, and I never will play it again. I'm very stubborn when it comes to things like that, and it was very close with Cyberpunk. However, of course, the gameplay is good. Cutscenes a bit long for me, but again, that's personal preference. Some of you guys might enjoy watching those scenes and interacting with the different people on the different in the different missions. I do like how you kind of cross through. I'm not going to do too many spoilers because if you haven't played Cyberpunk, I don't want to ruin it for you, the story. But yeah, I like the way it kind of crosses and links into each other, different characters. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section what you think or what you score this game. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video. Let's go!